Okay, so welcome back. Now real quick, I'm going to review a couple things I said, but now I have the definitions here. Is a complex number. So a complex number is a number in the form of a plus bi, and this is called the standard form. So the a part, right, that's the real part. This is the imaginary part. Okay, so again, if b is 0, then I have a real number. Okay, if a is 0 and b is non-zero, then this is what we call a pure imaginary number, or just an imaginary number. Okay, now what is the definition of an imaginary number? It is an even root of a negative number. That is what we call an imaginary number. Okay, now what are some examples? Okay, let's do a couple of examples and we'll move on. So again, we'll do an example here. Let's do the square root of -9. Well, again, what do? We can split this up as the square root of -1 times the square root of 9. This is I, right? This is I, and this is 3. So what do we get? We get what? 3i as our answer. Now, if we want to write this in standard form, if you're asked to write this in standard form, it would be 0 plus 3i. Okay. Now, what's the next example? Well, let's do another one. Let's do the square root of 24. Well, how do we handle this one? Same way. We take this and we write it as what? 24 times, so the square root of 24 times the square root of 1. And of course, again, this is our I. And then 24, well, that's not a perfect square, but that's okay. We could just use what we know to how to take the square root or simplify square roots of positive real numbers. Okay, so we can write this as what? Well, this can be further broken down into what? The square root of what? Well, this is 3 times 8. Okay, or 6 times 4, right? We want to break it up to where one of the factors is a perfect square, so 6 times 4 will do it. Okay, so I could do this, right? So this would be equal to the square root of 6 times 4, and then I can break it up into the square root of 6 times the square root of 4, and the square root of 4 is just 2, so then this just becomes 2 times the square root of 6. Okay, like that. And so I can write my final answer as this times I, and so what do I get? I get 2. Oh, by the way, since I have a square root in here, it would maybe be a little ambiguous if I did this with the I, because sometimes you might be sloppy, but what we normally do is switch the two. So this would be 2i times the square root of 6. Okay, so in the case that we have a radical, we're going to put the I before the radical, but after the constant. Okay, the whole number. And that's it. Have a great day.